here from InsideWrestlingTruth, and we have independent wrestling star Kaige Kuttler. Kaige, how you doing tonight?
I'm well. How are you?
Pretty good. I got a few questions here I'm going to ask you, and I know you'll be honest with me.
Absolutely.
First question is, how did you get into the business?
Well, we all started off in the business as marks. I was sitting in the crowd watching my favorite wrestlers around my area. And it's something that I decided that I wanted to do myself. So I come into the business, 120 pounds, working a bunch of goof shows, and didn't know my ass from a hole in the ground. And then when I finally got some half-ass training, got back out of it for a while, then I got some good training, and I actually got it.
What guys did you follow growing up?
What guys did I follow growing up? Well, TV-wise, I followed Kurt Hennig. I followed Triple H. I'm 25. I'm young, so that's not out of my generation.
Yeah.
And locally, I actually was a big IWA Mid-South fan. I was about 13 years old, in the crowd watching the Ian Rottens of the business and the Madman Pondos of the business, and they were beating the shit out of each other, bleeding all over the place. And at first, that's something that I thought I wanted to do, but then I realized I'm too damn pretty to have to bleed. I can wrestle.
Right. What was your favorite match that you've been in?
My favorite match. Well, to be honest, my most honorable and favorite match was probably getting to wrestle a superstar in Bill Dundee. And to second that, probably another legend in Dutch Mantell, because that's where I learned my most knowledge. And they showed me that you didn't have to go in there and kill yourself to get over with the crowd. They showed me you had to do just a little bit, but entertain the crowd. So, and it was an honor working with legends like that, especially was where I was at in the business at the time.
Who are your top 5 guys to work with?
I'll wrestle anybody. I mean, you put a broomstick in there with me, I'll do my best to make it look good.
Tell us some of your road trip stories.
Road trip stories.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I've been quite a few places in the United States. And for instance, me and a good friend of mine, Reed Bentley, we were on our way to Michigan, got halfway through Ohio, broke down with a flat tire. And it was about 7 or 8 o'clock in the evening, so there wasn't no stores open to go get a tire, and we didn't know where any was, because there was a little local tire shop, but they were already closed. It was like just a personally owned garage. So we're walking around the truck stop area, the rest area, and this guy comes up, nice guy, I'll help you guys out. He gives us a ride about 30 minutes down the road to Walmart, and we think everything's all good. Well, we get on our way, we get to Michigan, and next thing you know, Reed Bentley gets a friend request on Facebook, and he develops himself a new stalker. So he has some creepy 40-year-old man asking him every day, where you gonna be, what show, I want to come see you. So that was a funny story. Reed Bentley developed a stalker and finally had to tell him off.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
And go ahead.
So who trained you?
When I very first come in, I got some shitty half-ass training from Big Bubba Thompson. He took a bunch of us young stupid kids in there, bumped the shit out of us, and taught us our basics, but in a half-ass form. And I
What are 3 words that describe Kaige Kuttler?
Very sexy, asshole, Very good in bed.
Where do you see independent wrestling in 5 years?
I hope a hell of a lot better place than it is now. I'm so damn sick of seeing independent wrestling companies battle with each other and trying to make a dollar by downing the other company. And you know, I've said this and been told this myself. If we'd all work together, we'd make a lot more money rather than trying to rip down flyers, trying to use the other people's talent, trying to bash each other on the internet. It's fucking stupid.
I agree with you. Who are your top 5 non-wrestling people in the business today and why?
My top 5 non-wrestling?
Yeah.
They're in
the business but don't wrestle.
Now is that managers and everything?
Yeah, everything.
Okay. Well, I have a lot of respect for Father Fear, because that's one, and you know, I'm not just saying that. He got cannonballed into the business. He didn't know, you know, I don't know what he knew about it before he got in, but when he got in, and to come into the business as fast as he did, I think he did a damn good job of adapting, which, you know, he's a very, very knowledgeable guy, so that helps. But the wrestling world's a whole different world. You know, he's never been a wrestler. You know, he's been a manager, and he's been a promoter, so he's seen the shitty side of the business. And honestly, I can't name 4 others because they're irrelevant to me. Cool. I look out for myself.
Right, that's cool, man. How do you feel about hardcore wrestling?
Well, there's a lot of wrestling fans that are bloodsuckers out there and that want to see it. Me personally, I have done it before, but I prefer not to do it now. I'm not going to sit there and down the guys who do hardcore wrestling because they are entertaining in the business to a certain crowd. Now, I believe if you're a hardcore wrestler and you're an established name, do your thing. But what I do not agree with is the jackasses who have never had any kind of training, coming from the backyard, acting like superstars because they can take a chair shot or light tubes or barbed wire or something like that. You know, I'm pretty much all of us wrestled in a backyard a time or two, but it's the way you develop from that.
Have you ever won any titles, and what were they?
Yeah, I've won a few. God, I don't even know. I was me and Derek Neal was tag team champs for SMPW. I was the Fearville heavyweight champion for one day. That worked out pretty well.
That's cool.
I was I was the light heavyweight champion for some fucking goof company. I don't even remember what the hell the name was. And it was ran out of North Vernon. And they put their light heavyweight strap on me, and to be honest, I don't remember any others.
Do you remember your first match, and was it a train wreck?
It absolutely was a train wreck. It was in 2003. I had on a Dickies cutoff t-shirt and basketball shorts. I was working from the right, and I didn't know shit. There was no psychology, and I was still very green, very, very green. And I actually had the tape for a while. I don't know where it is now, but I sat back and I watched it, And you know, I picked it apart because it was dog shit. It was something that should never be called a wrestling match. But you know, I'm not gonna say I regret it because we all have to start out somewhere.
If you could work anybody on the indie circuit, who would it be?
That's actively on the indie circuit.
Mm-hmm.
His gimmick didn't go over very well, and he was never a superstar. But when I was younger, he come into WCW, and I loved the gimmick because I was into the whole deal. Glacier.
Who's the stiffest guy you've ever worked?
Necro Butcher.
Who are 3 guys you have no use for in this business?
Oh shit! Well, it's a shoot, so fuck it. Clyde Richardson. You know, personally, I've got no problem with the guy, but him, as far as him running a company, it was just a big fucking goof train wreck. You know, and I would tell the guy that to his face. I don't talk shit about anybody, but Wolfpack Wrestling turned out to be dog shit because it wasn't ran right. Who I don't care for in the business.
If you don't have 3, man, that's cool.
You know, I can't think of 2 others right now.
All right.
But I'll give you a in general answer. Wrestlers who take bookings and no show. Wrestlers who try to act like superstars when they're not. And I do not like motherfuckers that come in with a big ego and try to be something that they will never be or that they are not. Because I feel like that if you can't be real and keep it 100%
right
in the locker room and you try to work your own boys, then you ain't fucking worth my time. Because we work the crowd, not the boys.
Can you explain the incident at the Waffle House in Corydon, Indiana?
Yes. My girlfriend at the time was giving me a blowjob in the truck, and Juicy Jimmy Felcher, after she spit the load out on the ground, that nasty motherfucker took his 2 fingers, went over and licked up my wad and stuck it in his mouth because he wanted to taste Kaige Kuttler. That is the sickest fucking thing ever, and I believe Madman Pondo about puked also. And he said I tasted like bacon, which made it even worse because I do not want to know how I taste by him.
Yeah, that's some foul shit. Is there any last words or anything you'd like to say to your fans before we go?
Thank you for being fans. Evolution Pro Wrestling. Every other Thursday night at Jammers in Clarksville, Indiana. We need your support. We're going to put on a hell of a show for all the fans. 1515 Lynch Lane, bell time 7:30. Next show's July 25th, 2013. And for all you haters out there, fuck off.
Kaige, thanks for being on my show, man.
Thank you.